hono China meka
Eric Meba, one second. Say contract
China meka.
What are you continuing?
Asem na meka no tie me.
O say contract
engage them and
China meka no ntia se. Me say me say they engage them, but demo kra no mo anye proper documentation. So when we
then there
came
was
as
no
a
contract to be continued in the first place.
Look at you.
Because you can't put something on nothing.
Utie me here.
Would that not be why they saying the new
utie me here, meba.
So it's a new contract.
Obi anka se bibia e new ha. Tie me say all this contract ya awarded under NPP regime. But a home crat as no dodo na enwie peye e na me di me krom kwan. Example amount. Yes. And indeed, ye to abawi almost 1 year. Obi. Now cry una na hwan na Obi almost 1 year. Rango anko site. Ye ni na hia ayentote. E na na rango anko site oye adwuma. The German of twen an say e kwan na ene ye 80 kilometers if gine ekusi sampa border no so ho no. Say 2.5 years you say 3 years now mo de amaye no enru ho ne aye adwuma na wi.
Yemo bibia kwa ba na yemfo bra mega TV and platform we eso 1,000 Eric Adjei NEP CEO na ene nipa miensa a omu nyina ye MPP fo baako ekiremu ono de asa ono aye ne ho se ondon MPP Kabila enso oye MPP food soldier ena one pious bi nso ye MPP communicator ena another person akomu ho bom ewo obi show so akohia Almighty Eric Adjei na how Eric Adjei toro boase eyiyi ni nsem no one by one egu omoni mase no na omukra no e shock omo and medical catch was MPP for no amount of propaganda and edemu beba abam unless some the good policies na Ghana for echi dem nyansa kakra e opposition ansa yenkoti enkomoni bi na ehonom e de papa yakoba ibetwa so obi show so ekusi sen dwumadie yakoba ibetwa so
bon fair
befa
why you confused
Famachi obi na ye den ya Kabila ne Pius share da be good studio ha na de adende na ba
Eric Uba sana Pius Uba
David na say team work no na ye me won
hani bi yaka
me
to was wako jami ya kaya
Pius. Now we are zooming straight into well obviously one topic conversation what drink in the what in an interview and someone what is a minister Kenya then me pacho
Obi me dase ne de kama menchia obi na menchia ye tifo nyina Obi me bra ho papa na menuano mo mpanyin wa ha bijimidi se omuso aduoma no betum
yes
but yem hihye Ghana maybe some who say ye koya na say ye buy
Eric
Doc enya stresem
ebe nyawo
ono kan Eric Adjei
yeah some here pa
yes
che ni aye nyina no Ghana man betum pon akonanim enuntina Obi misi mu bisa se enti ekusi sen
e wa Sempa FM
enti tobe ni nyina echi no ye ko 2024 abato no na abana ye tu ye no yera His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ni president obedi ye menua penyin honorable Agboja ni road minister na obedi ye menua Eric Adjei ni da odi wa ban mu nyina no nti no ekusi sen enu nie look in common medi in some aka no enu de enya me na meka Ghana for wan kasa be kai
sure
ebi na yera sule a boy voices ni bi ene na media me see sa for estate for no omo aboa oman Ghana ye dae ba na ye nan go abonten dreamu kese pa e wo wiase enie this is the mother of scandals to the extent say ya try write RTI request. It was denied. There was an appeal. After minister na jia to muso my information no. Minister no my information. Yes, I call highways SI my information. Minister no SI call internet so the information bi akọ todwa e wo internet so. Na ne nyina ye information ba akọ. Enura ye daya ahomachen na obi asori akọ. Information no yakọ sisa no. Say contract be no. Sikana RTI request answer na mu ankasa mu di ma ya mu bo over 800 million no afa de anajo de sumu ya da no na ya sisa figure no. No wonder the learned judge ne ka say ebinum ti ase kwa ye fa so e create ye lutu na ya share ya sana babium. Now look obi yeti kromo ha oman mu ha na scandalo na MPP for scandal e no manka e na Ghana for CEO yati ye beto abana mamobium e na some of the scandals aye kafa MPP ho no ebini o you see energy minister ya appointing no say onko vetting committee abra MPP for ne dosun e was a vetting committee no because at that time no na nye na ne wo majority no you see minister no e ko bribe donkuma na e war vetting committee no so omunji ntum ade no so e simple majority o you see a scandal yera Boache Jako energy minister okay you see a scandal kapre abaime kapre basei anko bebia o NDC force a scandal you see Ministry of Trade eba be ye program bi na omu mpese omu di Ghana sika enebe organize enti omu ankasa no in their creativity no omu ye fundraising eno omu hihye nkonwa se wo a wo ba no ye ton ticket na ticket no ti se wo cost stadium popular stand wo ho na VIP wo ho no ya hihye ne se wo a wo betina VIP no wo ticket no ni buo sunu ni buo na wo a wusu uwa popular star no suno wubo eti VIP ni say wuwa kwanya no ben baby o mampanyin eti selfie na wo pekura baby a wuti no betumi atwa na wo de akokire wuma enti wu ticket ne de eye surunko kakra omusi o ye cash for seats scandal obi ukai mi si am o my Ghana kapre ba sei ankum mi ameti ha oh yes bibi the Australia visa scandal abina mfa teku anatekuba anakapre amame say yemfanfa obia emfanko Australia obia ni ewiase a oye journalist ya oba menim say opese oko Australia mi ankasa as deputy minister say mi pese mi ko Australia na anka eye GOC for na be visa amame because omu no mu ye games organizers say World Cup ebe FIFA is not dealing with government of Ghana. FIFA is only dealing with the GFA because eye kuo FIFA no eye independent organization football clubs and a kambumu enti there is no relationship between FIFA and the government of Ghana bibi omu ye bia no eye courtesy Misi abaino sidi sempo ambe faye nsim obia mpo eni ho a oba manimu se mintre ni din keke mpo se ope Australia ko minye juma o Australia High Commission
o akukodro
minye juma o Australia High Commission yesi Ghana phobia kodu Australia ayapamu omu CEO ye scandal
omu bodi
omu say a scandal enne Ghana sika 73 billion not million billion yebeka ni twi mo say opp pacho buame wo de wonim say me comedian ayigbetwi me free volta na me nyin we so dwaman ena ene ma bedroom studio ha madaroma enti billion no de nka me krom kasa nka metumi aka twi no 73 billion obi pacho buame me pese amanfo etiase me si sa sika no me ba no me ba no ma sorry dan obi a onim sikasemu wo see me ma sorry dan yes sika no into 50 Ghana cedis note wa na e pakia e be ye me ma sorry dan no ma sasika no ho komo na edie me pese amanfo hu mfoni no e wo mutrimu enya 200 Ghana note wo se ye bonu 50 cedis note a e betumi a hye maso enye se e betumi e be ma sorry no dan no ma ye ma sasika me ye kwatle me Roman no see sasika no ho komo e na ye die na de na aba ni aba ne se obi na no 2016 ye koye e kwan fufuro bi ewo do de papeso nkwanta kwan no so
so account 3 minutes
mate do de papeso muno
yes 2015
me pese me kai yen sa Jibril Kanazoe sa kwan no na di ba yo ademudie je ba mu yedi ka no according to not according from na yesi yedi ka no e di ama Ghana ban security so mu yusu o man nka se o mu hia ka o but yedi ade no koche wo mu ni na sefo sa kwan no ye no ye man penyin say contractor no wa ya de ama yewura John Dramani Mahama say contractor na ya de ama Ghana contractors mu nkona mu nkosua asphalt no ene ufa charge GTP krana ugugu say ye di oman bi sika asphalt road ya how many years ansana kwan no betumi asay ya ye betumi a kire wo say charge GTP me wa hana me check o betumi charge GPT see at least 25 to 30 years there asphalt road there ye ni ya
2015 contract was not an asphalt
onim the oka
fact
that's all
yo yenko yenim
nti twesan
o de me say asphalt
Eric
na de na okay
jambo tame me nim nyameka o minim nyameka
2015
minim nyameka
unim de oka
nyabotre
kasa yetio
ye kwan na ye 10 years old no kwan na ye 10 year old no imu kwan yo yenko sua wo Burkina Faso ni no ho no after 10 years pe wo ye see ye san kwa yes akwan no afi de nkrata aba empenyifo ne bi ene dive down kukuemu ekoye nhwehwemu enyesa ade a amanfo de to abontin there bi na omu mpesa amanfo betie enti RTI request nkra no they declined it a force ansana information ni pie obi sik kwan a ye de 25.9 million euros a year na no 10 years ago ene ya double SND bi aka ho over 60 million euro ena ede yes akwa no obi amanfo se mayenka ho asem na enye hwe yes I agree price no betumi asisa but ebesisa every 25.9 million euro akwa ko do 60 and over million euro.
But won't you want to look at the scope of work now in the new contract?
A different scope.
Dressing, that's the way asphalt.
Your friend rehabilitation.
I'm a friend of rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is a term of.
Oh, Debbie. Obi, and I may be some engineers or my church. Your friend rehabilitation.
Do you know that the in Sawem to Ofanko Road is
rehabilitation?
Minim.
Okay.
You don't know.
Now, in Sawem to in Sawem to nyabotre question na obi sam no kwan na ye no na kwan be na ere ne den.
Yeah, but I'm saying rehabilitation can be doing the road. In fact,
maybe say den kwan na ye yo.
Say they 10-lane road. Yes.
And asphalt and sapiti.
Asphalt.
And I may tell say sapiti and I will say we in the asphalt here. Want to mean friend rehabilitation. But a year coin for a woo year. A year asphalt road ya. Who say yen asphalt no. Ube to me a friend rehabilitation.
Yeah, but the name in the contract document here, rehabilitation of.
That is it.
That is what is in the contract. And
I may tell say. It tells you say it exactly. That's what the point I'm making. It's consistent. And you say
so you're not saying different things.
Yes,
you make the point.
We are saying the same things. In any case, the people who have looked at the document, Papa na obetina hano.
Yes.
Or say there is a lot of similarity between the scope of work on that road and the scope of work that we are doing now. In any case, Obi, if there is not even a similarity, now see and also abeye 10 lane, and I say abeye 5 lane, and I say abeye 6. I say by this and come back because I say me asem kesi, and it will raise the questions of need. Do we have the need for maybe 3 lane, 4 lane in some places? Because sebi Ghana for no yen na sebi yadwene yedwuma. Won't me be kire yen say sebi mimi krom kwa me de ko me krom yeah wabe yen no 4 lane. What is the economic viability of the road, for instance? So we know, and that is why they have not come to deny say road na yeah no, it is not entirely different in scope. That has never been the argument. So don't play the devil's advocate for them and create.
But what they have said though, and they say this time it would be asphaltic and yet surface dressing.
Concrete.
That's what they have said now. With the new one.
Obi, now
the minister.
What can we find?
Oh,
go and check the contract document.
Parliament way.
But the contract document once for the about more cano.
They are okay, yes, I know cano.
The contract document now cano and no one a new dinner. Yes, sorry, Humachia. Adiana more responding more sign for the minister. Highways are signed, Mudia go to internet, and then no more assign cost 600. And all of those things no say be Ghana for your kola. So the games that are at play no and nothing are media in conclusion, Obi. Me, I believe, sir, these matters should not be laid to rest. There are more questions. There are questions, major questions
to be answered
about this matter of scandals. And you know, Parliament must come in this one.
Okay.
Minim say enche omobe
should there be a special audit?
There should be a special audit from the Auditor General. There should be a bipartisan inquiry into this matter. Yen ni TV show live. Me see cash for city krampuna aban sekeni mo kran about TV show. Yen no embra TV show na document the bibia obia hu because ade amu ye kura no. Nanka ni kwan se mu be ye so so se mu hye yen bo se mu nye so so se. But then yes, so saucy. Me people say so saucy is in the law. Obi, I'm telling you, me, I agree in principle. Say even though so saucy, allowed under some specific instances in the Public Procurement Authority. No, my personal position is that we should not encourage it. We should move. We should move. No, we cannot because there will be emergencies here. But I would have thought that the principal position that let the norm be competitive tendering, no, we should move towards that one. Because inherent in it, there are some steps to be that's a question.
Eric,
Obi,
respond to enough. Dr. James.
Kabila. Obi medase. I'm saying, Nanka be me fese. Anka senior, minu penny or sorry koi. Nanka nene betina hatch nanka. Questions are your near busebusani. But that is the politics of it. Yes, now unim de yemi one way you marry. The yemi one way you marry pious yote.
Don't go personal.
No, your personal. Net kwanya offer some description. And the way you see, and are you okay? Yeah. Say pious stay here. No, cause way you see, we so cause I know no one side no be can examples no say or no crowd you yeah 1 year share no. You say scandal. Pious.
Yes.
Yeah, yet opposition ya more appointment. And I any amount see you.
Debbie.
Any amount deputy minister.
Debbie.
And Kwadana I call Australia na no more granting interviews na bi mo se ejo mo 40,000 ejo mo 35 member kan wa no tum member obua o kasa ma edin
na but you write it down no the be it's not
he should write it down.
If you decide to respond to Sanya man,
may respond mini Obi yes and I'm saying start to kasa yen na wakasa 20 minutes into me water.
Obi, it is important that we put
no don't put anything on record. Odi Adjei kasa me say
Obi anywhere Obi
Pius on say kwan na nka odan a o say kwan na tene wo asem we ba kuruma obo wa kura na wusu and na we nya hwe say me ba yeah you
na mumu abe mumu sumu be chimi mumu ya ye
oh Adjei kasa na me kan bi Obi
Entroni propaganda say
ya. There me pese obi ate ase ni say amanyo sem ne yeyo. And civil society organizations no so no omo akwanya say omo de omo ho e hye kan bi ma men kan bi we ma eno na ma ne yakono na owura no baaye no ubusa ne nsem bebre obi this conversation started no say wo hwe fourth estate for no social media handle na ade achi bia ye wo kwan a ye de asem no faso ba obi ye hye ase no
they said that's the editorial discretion.
Yes omo hye ase no de no more can say contract mako ahodo 81 yeah big push ni nyina ye contract ahodo a so source ya ban we e de ama obi se okai pa ena minister no ko mra bedwafie no kokko chense no mu kakra na obi wa hu meti hai so sourcing kwanya e faso edema contractor so omonye adwuma yenim se wo mra no mu de like no purport so boss am voice am see yakeka bi esi ni ade in opposition then you can adren your position on some specific projects bia auditor general raised the issues. Yes, the press conference based on the issues that auditor general raised say because here ni sales source no almost say a boy no cry be times 3 yeah a call competitive tendering na nkenko nkodusa yeah ye kan sunya airport then at the can. So that was the argument I mean you are making is Amren. Some of us we also transported it. But the year can is see asembia ni fie obia mo krono obia nkofo obia de ena obi nka se na ade ayira obi yeti kromu hai se institution bia ba abonten oman mu hai institution bia ba abonten se contract ahodo a ya award de ama contractors no ya ye obi de kana sichi kwan so tell me yeah that's sorry na ai nsem ni aba abonten se ono agina mraso outro through RTI e dey copy information from the ministry and the ministry na finishing information and o post to social media and ono no trimu no on tinne ma si enema no enye fema no nto zuze bibi wo. And I love how ana obusa questions say enti say wadwen mu na odi we nyine ba o kina bi ne e kase bibi ani mu a what will you say eno na me busa na me wanyima no no sorry call obi and some obobo so ni nyina no emu de ahe na obetimi aka chem say scandal.
Oh, so what trell, for example, Winneba to Cape Coast, one lotter, or a calculation, almost 124 million per kilometer. That's that to him.
No one so no busana a scope of work near the other. And no busana no as a technical people. No. Okay.
And I said,
they're not a technical person. But who busana or say technical for no, they should come out and speak and tell us why almost supported the fourth estate for Nekano. Because you can't come out and tell me say this is the position of fourth estate. Mobe can we you be sawa or say I'm a technical person. And a minister number Bontebeka say so yama Air 54 under big push and ameboa 7 air restricted nempo no figure na omo kambo mo kokonya bi no ye wo ebi wo ho a na the previous administration air hu adwuma no ye mako 23
yes
ya na ni nyina ye so source and okram say me print copy e dey buy enti so source document na omo printed the can ho a ye de ma menu apani a o de betena hai eye de o kan de can Obi, this one, Joey. Okay. The Kutawi, your title is a big push, and ameboa.
Yeah, big push, ongoing
projects. Baushe projects, a work craft, I will swing in Amaku 23, Nina projects, and Nanado Danko Kufuado, any award the contract, you know. But ye buy no, the Behu Yenisana, for 2 ye better Sikadia free Mwako Yejumano, no problem. And okay, ye born to a kind of flagship, I hold one see any so can can be bush. Ye buy near de Sicado ne course, ya quine hodwa, Ghana for the ne casano. Ye more for 2 ye de big push rules, in Tiamfa win and Congo count. And tis obey me
on this list, no already one issue. And the issue is even though Muslim was 23 in Nano where awarded than Nanado, or share this document, award date now. It be a 12 October 2025. It be a 2022. It be a 2023.
Obi Abaya Sasa transition aba contract ahodo a ne ya frefre contractors bebre and so follow deputy minister crowd parliament I say after say omo some auditor or some institutions we mu refund this can be near there. So we called them back. My family constituency, for example, Jamai not Gene Sample Route, Rango na no Rango na no work
Rango, sure.
Me the men says me bo akase. After say 2 minutes sign ya Rango J Jumana yani ma pressure say contractor no go back na pam bi ani omuntem. Ano ho ba pam.
Na contract and kase ni ho.
Okwa they don't even know how to speak about it. What am I saying? And near man kakran na ewo ho na omo perceive as contract na aban bia suru kabo enti ene omo ntena se ne yemfa ne man tutu yi na kwan ya fa so mo ma no ho ba nkrata asem kakra omo ye fa ho no ye hu kwan be fa so aye na aye mra kwan so then we start with them.
Your way no 12 November 2025
Rango yes yet to about time ben
so it was
Debbie yet to about December
yes
maybe 2024 near to about
2025
very good and I'm say after say ye buy no Rango no nko kwan no so biem na Rango nya adwuma ho na me free obia nim say the jana mine of kwan tie. I remember many your region council of state representative your Rango office bear 4 times your minister office bear 10 times because they be a demonstration you say I'm Robert Sabakwan so you are robbing Kofo. So what do you supposed to do? Enti ya buy na sa niema we na you put into consideration say adan na yemfa nko kan a big push no na foto na ayabo no yemfa ni nyina nye den enye adwuma obi ene de aka ho ne de so figure na omo di we be kan ho ene na ma minister no ko ya okoko chire mu say oh no chi na me kan no tie me
say contract
ni wa chi na me kan no
what are you continuing
asem na me kan no tie me
o say contract engage them and
chi na me kan no tie say me say me say they engage them but democrat no omo anye proper documentation so when we
then there
came
was
as
no
a
contract to be continued in the first place.
Look at you.
Because you can't put something on nothing.
Utie me here.
Would that not be why they signed the new
contract? Utie me here, meba.
So it's a new contract.
Obi anka se bibia e new ha. Tie me. Me say all this contract ya awarded under NPP regime. But a hon krata asem no dodo na enwie peye e na me de me krom kwan. E example ama. Yes. And indeed, ye to abawi almost 1 year. Obi. Now cry na hwan na da. Obi almost 1 year. Rango anko site. Ye ni na hia ayentote. E na na Rango akọ site o ye adwuma. The German of twen an say e kwan na ene ye 80 kilometers if gine ekusi sampa border no so ho no. Say 2.5 years you say 3 years now mo de amaye no enru ho ni aye adwuma na wi. Enti say ye big push o. Say ye so source no ye de ye twen ye kwan. But the year can oh no me but the year can say the fact is President Akufo-Addo de ma contract no na no nkire say abanya sesa ye ya ba ban mu no e wo se ye den ye twe ye ho ye den e di free ho enti ya ntwe ye ho amfiri ho ebiem obi o ka say nyina na o ka technical once say utie the minister Goja kan na also do say omo ye so source na hodo pi ba sa ne ma hodo omo ye nyina na ye ministry no ni agencies na wase no na ye adwuma ni nyina
that's they be a route
meba yes very good and it's a ministry no ni agencies na atena se na ya cost project ye wi na ye ko Ghana Institute of Surveyors na omo so kokohwe mu na omo ka se oh adwuma na waye no ye nim de kwan so ye hunu say this is the right way to go ntimo betimi aye mo adwuma na se ministry ni de ama contractor na contractor was site
for so mo nim ho hwe o
emu de here
procurement for na mo ko news fan na no omo rep no ba news fan no say na all on the
na
procurement experts
na ben ye wie say the contract mo bi e de be kwa ko mo na de be ko PPA
sana on
baba ben mu da kasa so bi na wa ben de na waka no
but who said that boy
and I say tie me kasa so bi wa ba ben mu pen na ja bi waka no no you were in government the ben ye wie documents ye time documents na e de akwa ko mo obi ebiem obi aha
you consult you
6:32 until was me ma Kabila e kasa
oh man 20 minutes oh
ma 20 minutes me pacho fa wa no si 1 minute aka
mumia no nyina so na me di kan ba
fa wa no si 1 minute
obi na say me
pacho
party mini party
so what the can be that time na o wa ha nti
na de na me kan me ba de na me kan
eh to be bu obi na
Why man nipa na kasa 20 minutes? Me so minim say make kasa 20 minutes. I say for one see.
Kasa 20 no one time abo. O dey me say kasa meet here.
Oh yeah, me issues na me be kama kan issue one I say time so can dey work. Azembe na work. Ah, na 10 minutes and can 9 minutes. Obi maybe no Obi is not being fair to me but me tena say say oye interview bi asame ba mu be kasa bi nti watini nyina free me time a say no so NDC na me ye patapa ko mo obi 20 na me nru 10 wo say aka wana what is ame de na free mu amate obi
onni bibi aka
obi ebie mo hu say sa cost per kilometer agreement no mo ye
ma yenka bi ne yenka mo
meba kabila ma menfancy sa cost argument no mo ye no
per kilometer
yes enra yenso ye hia ne ye hwe akwan ahodo pia ye nuanom de ma contract ene ye hwe cost of kilometer may those arguments ebia na hu hia me say de me make sa te say de all ka say obi ye technical person obi tema motorway project na eda ho no 19.5 kilometers.
Yes, Mariboma
there no. O check here, and also 1 kilometer bia no, $17.34 million. O the bag Ghana sika mu CD ya 187 million Ghana cedi per
kilometer. And the motorway na muzi.
Na motor say self-contained. Who sit down kwa okwan? Is that what you're telling me? Yes, meba. Enti motorway na. Motorway na ya kan ho asem no. A kilometer of motorway under NPP no modema contract. Ubisa question of spoke. Sorry, scope no. Also technical people. No, you're technical person. ABM Obi. No can dualization. Dualization adentani do what no so 22 kilometers. And also you check here no. Na scope no, kilometer no. 60.33 million Ghana cedis per 1 kilometer. Enti no so dey na newum. But we all know say ye kwan na uhu the scope of work na and ultimately dey some argument or person maybe a mountainous area say ye ho kwan a ene me krom German of kwan the street e ho enye pe
Eric, you are in government.
All
bring
these
the
things
scope
are there
and stop
so what we are telling the people of Ghana is there's no scandal
bring the scope bring the scope
anybody bia honorable Kwame Agboje adwuma e
dey am opposition
but ye be sure Ghana for adwuma na amode hye yensa ye bonto a ye ba amonan so amose mo akwan ye no eno ho adwuma ne ye President Mahama Shebo say Ghana nyina beda no construction site ene me no ka se ko marriage na Sampa di baby road oka ho asem contractor gina so gidigidi omo ye brekum se kwa contractor gina kwa no so ye oko sunyane a yes sunyane ring contractor gina so ye oko Gambia contractor gina so ye so
Gambia no
fili gadochi
enu nkyere se mo be die sika nyina
now se unimu a it's over to you scandal biaba ya na baba ha be kan ho asem ba me no kasa ni there's no scandal anywhere for even
the mother of
so many opportunities
construction
Obi
pious
omo ye construction no nkyere se mo be die sika no ye betumi dia ye nema bebre
Obi
doc
Reverend Louis Farrakhan and Okasemi.
Pious up to say when you say Obi anya scandal you have
when you see
great men
fall don't laugh learn
yeah.
Now come be to us or say learn because the things that push or make men fall you and I are not free from them.
Yeah.
Nkomo akoso wo yi ade ba ko a me fi se EP mu ba ne se ehu hia se oman ye interrogate niema ema ye single source
procurement
sole source and restrictive tendering sa niema miensan we ye di nkomo ya na minua pani ba ko a oye technical person or the information be mame now it's important say me kind say be ya enye me area no.
Yes.
Source sourcing is a mandatory non-competitive selection where only one supplier exists in the market. In contrast, single sourcing is a voluntary strategic choice to use one supplier for specific goods despite the existence of others. Sole sourcing involves high risk dependency, whereas single sourcing offers better partnership potential. Now, my key differences: one, availability. Sole sourcing is unavoidable because only one vendor exists.
Sure.
Single sourcing is chosen from multiple available options. Flexibility. Sole sourcing lacks alternatives if the supplier fails. Single sourcing allows the ability to switch suppliers if necessary. Reasons. Sole sourcing is driven by patent, proprietary technology, or specialized expertise. Single source is driven by strategic partnerships, volume discounts, or streamlined logistics. Risk, which is the last point to make. Sole sourcing introduces higher risk of the vendor disruption and lack of price negotiation. Bottom line is say, the way you see ye near koma ye dia. Enuntina ye mremu e say contract bi wo say ye no single source. Ebi on my say ye no sole source. Ebi on my say ye no competitive bidding. Ebi on my say ye no restricted tendering. Na me ne Pius Udin komobi e wechire. The use of the word abuse and also obi be fa kwati kwan so ye bibi. It exists in all these contracts. All of them. Even competitive bidding. Who the omo insider trading wo.
Sure.
Enti abuse no there. Make me akase ye nuanom akasa enra ka say something was being abused no. Perhaps they misspoke because Eric can say bi wa. Say it followed from audit report me wa. Audit report when say is subject to Public Accounts Committee. Until Public Accounts Committee ashia atoton krofo anu amomo aye no. Untimi nka say e conclusive. Enti niema na audit report no kra ma aye no. Na enye conclusive. But we run to town with it. And enye ho na ekosi ye. Ye ma no ye say unya ye sole source and a single source no a na che say boni bi about him. Eno na ma asem wo ho. Nka asem bi ani ho. I'm being honest with you. Pius are introducing new dimensions. I'm not going there because I know no major my technical for no. If it's a technical for no, Eric, and I'm happy say now we insist say Sule as some more kind young yetri no. Dear me no ye di ani be hu say ti say no. Technical for no be hu say bia so sin bi gu. Ebi ne word bia na mu use one about rehabilitation.
Yeah.
The word may be ordinary for us, but it has its technical meaning. What different connotation crossing said the BC Atiasiafa. It is very important for me, say a better assessor. Now, nunti na me make us say, you say you best set up
A commission of inquiry into these projects in general.
To say judgment dead commissioner. Are you massive enemy senior justice? Time 3 months, 4 months,
6 months,
6 months, yeah. 1 year there does.
And
there be the appointment of a commissioner of inquiry.
Cannot be so commissioner.
So commissioner. But then Obi, the important thing is say period be to say we are 2013 to data. Ebe boy ma rational.
Yes.
Now boama yen amanyofo a etoda ye den se no bia ye twimu no. A settle sasem was the judgment that won come abofom. Because sir so source na same way. Minia Pius no before 2016 on the campaign. Minia Eric Adjei no 2024 2020 2024 on the campaign.
Okay.
All yasro yasumani bi. Inti I know you're very important for me. Then the issue also is
final
beneficial contractors now almost benefited so source ownership beneficiary owners beneficiary owners any your friends saying shareholders of these companies. Last point I mean make it Obi and they say oh my God na your team no your capacity as it is based on a certain understood or stated standard. Nti yaka se company bi A1 ya wone ma ya hyehyɛ thank you e just say we A1 ayi it includes n'adwumayɛfoɔ almost status any almost capacity say our architects saying our engineers saying
capacity of contractor
I'm not going
very well.
And a company less than a year.
My question is say capacity na make us finally will be the many can say there are standards.
That's fine.
You don't find the understanding of capacity no and commercial
and yes subjective objective
I'm saying he saying that they are stated.
Obi yeah we shake Ghana well now mama Joyce Ayi belated happy birthday wish na no Saturday
road construction sika ye di kwako ye rehabilitation of Fida
work up with the bamo penso anka nyu
road construction sika ye di kwako ye renovation wo Fida road office
abusia enu si ye no na nkomo nyansi ye oman ne kwabena sante eni ni nua ketewa Obi Omasan yo madi ni bio ase omo bo aban na baso ase omo bo aban na chi ase aban na yade ase aban ni nyade they are not being specific and as realistic to this government, especially Medina member of parliament ni nkomo bi okodidi ye efa entrepreneurship and as entrepreneurship inside dwuma ehun kobo e na omo afa e na omo dwedwe mu no say omu bo papa na baso say omu di na temu so omu yedenyo omu normal behavior no yenkotie ensem mo di tudwa na ekoba ibeto aso e di amount o yen platform eso nyankopon kan ho na o nhira papa say apribia no support Mega TV yen platform yenkotie nkomo ni ekoba yaka bia ibeto aso o yen platform eso
yentimi nkodan nipem ne mo nam nipa so e ma wado ye ne o senchene deade wo ya bra bom ne asetenem tie beka se woni nyame a de esi china ena anwumre blaster nkurumdi ombedi anangugu ombedi nyina no onim dada that is what sets you apart o nyame a o danso no obi bia ni hwa obetim di ne ho atoto onkotonko no wakoda o nyame a yenya wa prekope ne yame tie san ho a ebopo a wa ikokrumuti enye yi ti sa nyame no na bribia da me se osori anopa na se da de wadaro ma wa ho brase enfa ndida enti onyame yeda wase onyame ewie mabeka ekosi sem team a era eye lawyer obenfo osebo nso da no de ka nyina ne se anka nipa nsusu yi mu de se nkapsa abiri ye ni megu ase ki awade egu ki ni adwumaye ki anu akoyi ye ka ana ya de bia dokoro ye ba okoso edai wo humo bronedi in the midst of amena omotutu nyina na nsem omokane ne omompese omode banchire din se ya hodo omode ato yeso kontompo ni ntwato so nyina no onyame edaso ene yeko edeba enti ye di frim ene efibem sa nyame na okora ye no ono ana yedaso ekutani nti onyame edase ya semina ya seda kwaseda ebibre senka bibi waseda chia beyond asedanka bibi wo ho a onyame onkuto nanka ye ya dwene mu ne enti ase ni mu no anka ye do ase for Ghana ye do ase for mampenya na dom ye ye do ase so mpanyimfo a wo de omadom ye ebu man those in opposition one also other political parties ye do ase for bibia our gatekeepers ye do ase because you can't do without ekurani bambo for no a hard dwene for our security services for all manner of spiritual intercessors ye damu nyina amase say the Ghana ti enwie period ye but onyame humo brokoso e magana kakra you might not like the pace but ade ba ko abribia da eye ne se unim se kuntu hwan na nchia na beba se odwene Ghana ho na odo Ghana
and I love the bit about the pace may not be what we
the
want,
pace may not be
but we are certainly not where we were
no the pace may not be
the pace may not be it can be better. I mean ours has been painfully slow, but we'll get there. Incrementally, a lot of trending issues. First one, I'm a person home command sana the one over the aba. I've taken time to listen to. I don't know if it was an interview. Nana, down for Francis Xavier Sosu, MP for Medina. Na or granted, but or can be for a Juma Semo for the youth. And then we would have a conversation.
All right.
On Twitter and TikTok and make the noise. And see what that noise
is terrible. We may have to pull it again. Boosting on Sana or the Abana Yema amount for inti. I mean, the real argument he made on job creation, and then we can have a conversation around it. I think, yes, as painfully as suggestions now make it may sound.
No, you can help us with some of the suggestions. Once you've listened to the tape, no, you can help us with some.
I mean, he thinks the youth should not just sit on social media and complain, because complaint will not in itself bring about jobs. Onufri said the youth would have to take advantage of the opportunities. Now, and Indomie join crowd now started back when you on Hosono. Now, Obe Miensa and 9, in several places in Accra. I got the feeling, say, the whole point was how the youth can take advantage of the opportunities around them. Now, some of these conversations, because of earlier commentary, Omumu be passe, come no crane and pride comes off as you trying to find a convenient excuse.
Okay,
and
so
I said,
well, how I wish that I had listened to the tapes for the benefit of.
We'll get it and play.
Yeah, sure for near T4, but on the surface, the basic principle has always been that you are the best or better person to push yourself out there.
Sure.
On that principle, I would say Obia waba of age, Washington and Juma and our university and our college biano. Sebi se suku no ko sense and you mo share onu say abajuma de apem say. So innovative way no enye wani wu enye frɛ. One of the beings ɛha enne mabunu ni say obi to see start enwofu ana emrefu ana prekofu ana se wa oyɛ mponchi bi ana wa set up consultants get to bi a ɛwɔ bedroom kakra ana wa to no bi wɔ social media ebi nem feel say they are bigger than that. So the challenges that we have had might not necessarily be say nipa ntimi nya bibi new, but at the end almost see some person here almost TV almost your mind community and almost Xavier susu almost to say or the 1 minute and I could draw. That is also another challenge. And apart from the disappointment on the part of Omamuni now for Mebrunu Duduana no Mebrunu Duduana, so we want to encourage them. Gobi no crane say you cannot entirely fault most of them. Some of them have gone astray by virtue of relationship, by virtue of environment, by virtue of lack of certain push being words, catch on, by virtue of what could be a buying shame, no say, Mabun come out in for proposal being called near Kosoma say, a binum dear the amount as I or Moyakoma Bumon say, Trimupono Modibecono, Satimpono, the Cosa Bansio, now was the intimate, Adia Bechino. Na sad ye no mo de koy no na ban so no oye and I will be for afa eye. So there are a lot of things. It's not as easy as nimnyam for Xavier Susu. No crane say o baby edu ene wi ase obi. No cre pa ne say. Sa ban ka kire o say o woni da show wa kwanya so dem na ban oboro nya ban wen ko Omaya ye borrow di tu adwuma for abadwuma for ka nti aban no pa de nti na owe ana hwe excesses in terms of enipa wa abadwuma dodo na anya adwuma ana nipa dodo sen ana aban beti ma engage you. If you look at traditional universities and then the add-ons in terms of private universities then nipa mo churn out every year grandfather say averagely 200,000 in eba e dey na ye wo man we mu
and we don't have that number of jobs.
Of course e dey na wo man nti no crapa biem so ne say biribia na wo ko suku no ade ba ko say wo trim so nyamba e wadom ama a particular skill ebi ni mo suku mo ni ntem emu ni ntem pa njobo a painting si straight away who say na be bo no we score 1 2 3 5 8 months no a divert no set up kakra bi okwanchen wo no paint the next minute no set up shop na fi wo ko na fi waji nsem buwa ma emabunu ntiase say what they see on radio, on TV and on social media no majority of those things so that you should word be more and that so real and so easy to get eti mesraw momododo na mo clouded with nyoma munhu wo social media neza ana mesraw se wo se me ana obi say yeti baby enam shembim yakotena yesia mpacho do a calculation and see the capacity building. They be at me catch over the years. Now you tell one no no for one, you know. I did me didn't fear you know what you know. I know. O pesa o dia day We nyame ba. Eti oman tesa ha de na se so a ese so oman tiase a on kan ko no be den enen so mo mpa obi ampa akwakyere obi aso mpa motivational speaker biem obi aso mpa mentor because mentor na wo ko mentor no o be dey na be me
ya kan to mutum say
so
sika almost bibia sika o say
so bi ti say wo no a ompa obi na ase atena asua de wo so on person be go through a certain process to arrive at where you want to arrive at wo so pe easy life soft life say the sika no na soft life no obi ansi ukwan go through a certain process that's so called soft life now ebeba simple the amount but your banner wono your depend mercies and grace and odi aba be do some pempen so ani what do and you obia na betima go through that process obia ne kwan onam so
and I think for Sosuno when Sosu is making suggestions like this mostly in marketing your friend self-reference criteria and the one day that wow do who be susu dia because of his background said wow kind obi no abrabomu ye din tino na opushi track e wo dwom e de nyeska e de to aduane de tua ni school fees and waka say enyo bia na e bi obetimi go through that process but I think the whole idea NSA take advantage of the opportunity and ejuma bia ni ho a e demeaning like enye juma media me nsem fata sa juma we know once it will put money on the table, food on the table, it should be something you should be proud doing. One thing so I'm saying kind of say man once government admits say or no buying and to provide opportunities in no then a lot of the youth would have to look at entrepreneurship. What it means is that your educational curriculum, we have to find a way of putting entrepreneurship in there. Number one. Number two, agencies of state are also more pesika. And they saw entrepreneurship. We need to also to begin to have a conversation around them. It is offer NEIP, for example, and Anomikawa. So priority of priority agencies are. I was say about making sure allocations it should be those agencies into share NEIP, share NYA, share YEA. These agencies now almost some mebunu ase. It should be the priority. Because we know say Abaye Juma, the civil service is choked, the public service is choked. And the youth will have to be encouraged to go into entrepreneurship.
Well, Obi,
there should be money.
So you just said it rightly. Not just the money. Yes. We should understand what we are going to use the money for.
Of course.
I can also tell you confidently, say, apart from the political distribution, Exim Bank, this are name for more yes. And it's a mass all those are avenues.
Yes.
But the politicization, unnecessary partisanship of those institutions. No? And then number two, most importantly, what is it? The whole educational system structure, we have to relook at it.
We need to look at it.
I'm telling you, papa courses be Ghana. You're asking yourself, sad day where you kusiano. And pa now the koye waka so abrabu ni na de koye. Dia now the koye because any man sesa.
Yes.
Any man sesa asesa bebre. But o man no ya disua mu nsem no. Afa nia no amanyo sem adisua. Eti ehu enne wiase no baabi adisua kodu ene nyoma esese yesua ho mfa so ma nipadua no oman no ene kuro no we are far away, miles away. Miles away, not to slight any cause, but some of the courses that we are still teaching in this country called Ghana are bogus. Relevance are minimal. And I'm telling you, it is 18 na do baby and upon me unfortunately because say why you careful on. We have all disappointed ourselves, but our leaders, they've disappointed us more and they keep disappointing us more. Now, man, you careful. A recipe for a certain confusion that we all cannot stand. We have taken ourselves for granted too much. Well, and if you join that with the youth development minister, danger lies ahead.
Yes. Big danger.
Danger lies ahead because if they give you a breakdown of the data of a Mabuna, almost way off from Amadisium Kosuya, no man frustrated and desperate, or resorted to all manner of life, robbery, theft, drugs, alcoholism, and all those things. Now, as a result, there are no even openings. And Korea Chusu a year. Suku Nankasa, Dudu Nankasa Pony Bia. See, I take Biampo, I catch us a career guidance, and I said, what? So, how about empty chairs? And you be who no Korano, or one cassa free or Mopim. I'll force you to do now more number. Obi a person by a doctor, be a person by a lawyer, be a person by a politician. And you no be a true, so only baby and the banner cross strength. Ebby and the banner strength crown engineering, Ebby and the banner strength crown mining, Ebby and the banner strength, journalism, Ebby and the banner strength teaching. But and Obi, so no yakola, I was no at a teacher ni. It is Jerry Waketia. Ampa, we have made teaching up to this afternoon, Casano. A very unattractive job. Very unattractive. Teacher for I'm part of very unattractive. The sacrifices they make for this country. That is why when I see people talking that now I did 1 year, 4 months and they don't come out and come and talk. We are the whole Professor Ghana Education Service talking like that loosely. If you don't put yourself in the shoes of what people go through, you can't be a leader. You don't even understand the realities of life. So you talk loosely because you will sit in the comfort of your zone. Everything is at your beck and call. Something is so free 2 minutes to be anywhere. No one is to brew now. That is the sum. So what was worth it with this experience that you got? Partisanship not cloud your mind. That is the pain. Because our client who say, maybe you're university. Now on minor, even conflict of interest definition continues to be a challenge for us. Abuse of source sourcing continues to have different interpretations in this country. Defensive approach. Now, he will find a way out of the situation. Please hear me and hear me well. We all came to meet this country called Ghana. As a matter of fact, no Gold Coast. Information confobisa. And why is it that? Nencheni kura na podia na nka to no ye na ya konfra ye die se no ye nya adwene fi se beka eto e beka esem. I entreat all Ghanaians say who study the desperation and frustration of the youth are building on from time immemorial.
It's not fun.
Who say within a space of 1 second, 2 seconds, no few people monkey the work, babu the chop. Chop lefa it they bring from face edidija any muna and enam. When the youth begin to see that their situation day in, day out is becoming helpless, hopeless, and they have nowhere to turn to, that is where ideas are illegal. Ideas are constructive. Ideas are very devilish and demonic. Chaotic mindsets. A mind has nothing to offer. The space around has nothing to offer. The environment has nothing to offer. The youth around has nothing to tell themselves. The relevant authorities also have nothing to show. So then let us show ourselves how we can find food on our table. Today, the competition is not about building capacity, going through the mill, and then arriving at the top. Then grace your occasion with a crown. The competition is who can steal, who can lie, who can deceive, who can propagate, who can find ways and means to destroy characters. Greed is the order of the day. Greed is the order of the day. Detroit Chakontompo, Bobra and Sanfata. We will turn around and say that Omano. Assess yourself. As citizens, you was studio, but budget to me or mining there was studio near 10 times. That's why I pity those when we question you and you know you are at fault, you still put up a defense. There is coming a time. There comes a time. All of us, there comes a time. You can dodge every judgment here. But when you come home and sit and the space is now clear, that is your judgment day. You will begin to feel how you have recklessly committed blunders at your own expense and for the generation after you.
That's a good point. If the voice, for more NT and then to put the conversation in perspective, almost where to me at the echo. The other stories near the Atwaso. Francis Xavier so MP Medina.
Sit on Twitter and TikTok and make the noise and see whether noise creates jobs. Can you imagine if you're a young person and all you are doing is having a small Indomie joint? That gives you about, let's say, 200 Ghana cedis profit a day. And you have about 10 of those Indomie joints. How much are you making a day? That's about 2,000 Ghana cedis a day. That's if you're just a young person, that's what you're doing. Can you imagine 2,000 Ghana cedis a day? 10 days, how much is that? That's 20,000 Ghana cedis. In 30 days, how much is that? It's about 60,000 Ghana cedis. How many jobs will give you 60,000 Ghana cedis a month? Immigration, Ghana Police Service, GRA, no one pay that much. So Ghanaians and young people must begin to look at entrepreneurship as a way out of the youth unemployment situation. Otherwise, I fear that we may just crash, and that is the honest truth. But young people don't want to be told the honest truth. I know they should find a job. Okay.
Now I get it. Now I get why you said, say, the message is intact, but the career no.
Yes, the messenger.
The messenger no. And a problem no no. Oh, be no cry no can no. But Abra now no to position. Oh, who say the best option out is for entrepreneurship and the youth to be on themselves. Is that what he was thinking? That is what he saw. Unfortunately, no. He used that as a trump card to expose, in quote, a certain weakness he thought the then administration had. Now what but he say they are over chiri. Indomie. Na Indomie ne eboabo ano ane de aba na ebesi honum. Indomie. No, but the opportunity there says no person chire. No, Obi. Pick it literally because he a street person. He was from the street.
Yes.
It's all train.
So say Indomie no. Which men your joint bear me and sa.
No, go ahead the assembly for no cry Indomie phone. Onu ankasa de oka no. Assembly e ka bia ebo ebra. Assembly e ka bia ebo ebra. And I can give you so many examples. Assembly e ka won man nim ebo ebra. That is why politicians antiase say so omo ankasa antiase say baby e du no. We are calling a spade and we are desisting from Sakasana. Eguni panfi eyen kontompo kasa na da kasa no na yan hwe realities on the ground ya be we ho sa yan we nam bia o. So it's funny but a very good message odaba no, but it's funny since when we have sat here on countless occasions am account say me biggest fear kran say me nam legon inside the Quran keka man me kofia na me ho na me yam shishim because I'm looking at how nkoda ni si ko school nya nkoda kra yempanyifo ni si ko school na nkola kakra kan na mehwe exit point na preparation bia anyho
na the courses ni so musu school
courses to do na Gauta Ghana ma courses to do na other social British history so the colonization no the idea one
so obetro books and some book writings we discover
acha in kotle adoma ko bes na me channel when the book should be akin kai political communication strategy when be akin kai kubusa things fall apart okonko na we so no woli so yanka mu nyina kubusa buso mu you know ama te dum kubusa buso obatura you know it's not to you know but you know mesre and honestly obi can you see you know emebundu do na eti they are happy but they don't like how you approach your issues anymore.
It's true.
They are happy we are having this conversation, but they actually don't like this kind of conversation approach na anymore. It means now I'm to bo on park ni so. Let's Xavier. I'm to bo on park ni so. Let's find a solution because even you, some utterances that has come out from your mouth, crown. Honestly, it's nothing to write home about. Timisra, that is why they be at the catch from say ye idea situation mom di kanante. Na zoka kasebia ho ntem sem fata o mrahye redwam na abontini radio TV so a na me amimi di we chairman situation me ko kaka say ensem fata. You think that you have the moral right to correct me? That's the point. That is why I'm saying I mean because you are an example of what modern day radio and business is about. It was I mean cause bless you team ni pa o. And Ghana should thank you for this platform multimedia dia ma ono na wo de no kre anya kukuduro ekoso ye adwuma.
It's true. I mean
so what you say
I can't say I'm not sure. I'm fast.
No, we have to withdraw. I know. I mean, quickly, me can say, and joke.
It's no joke.
And joke.
I mean, to put that.
That's what I say. And
that's an example of what or talent. Through Sadia, the money he may end up making at the end of the month. We in the to school now. We are Juma or a year. You may not get that money. We're using a talent, and I think when you identify that talent, now you monetize the talent, and also to me, Ebwa. Let's have an open mindset around this conversation on job creation. Now you share the role of entrepreneurship in this conversation. Abayinso should put its money where no ewo. You cannot on one hand promise the youth say about entrepreneurship. After youth, you are ready to say entrepreneurship. Now, we share funding a free NEIP air bar the whole year.
No mobi.
Omu training the part 10,000. Omu we are omu ombeti me a funding with sika 2,000. All because allocation was a call on encoy. And that's why I think government should begin to sound a bit coherent. Inti baby o ka say hana me person be focus e wono. For sika pia na youth ni nya sika. A lot of the youth man but indomie ya Xavier so eken.
Yeah.
At least we here crown we here about 2,000 Ghana cedis to set up a normal
and average
indomie joint. Average. Now youth say they benya 2,000 cedis.
Na me ka say maybe
the bank 4 months has come. Small scale susu service amount has come.
No that 300 season na kan na sa bank from Bobby from saying almost shame mami and can 2 years from here can beti pay 300 300 Ghana cedi. It tells you the extent of any ahochere continuously is in this country. We catch 300. I know of a graduate wakofa bidie e wa tebubu and then was set up a huge bidie shop oba Enfield oba. Yeah, I was a huge BDA shop. I don't know what 2 free crying. I could set a big time to or 2 free or more or far more street. Now more say more in rubber for more be 2 every on to what free in the comfort zone. And what call baby or making millions of money. But you're also asking yourself, say, Meburu saying
the sacrifice.
Meburu saying. Well, we should point or she been come when you for she been when you for or call bank if you are 3x4 na say no me kwara me mama ton bidi mama enhance sa bidi ton no one tina baby and mama ton cry out for about 32 no and osua free ni mama honum and a pa of course source no capital no yan ye na 100,000 even too much of capital 100,000 no nya ye no obi and now oka billionaires billionaires very living very good. To the extent that baby, I was taught that I mean, church and a man for prime area in Accra, BDA. Now, what funny perfect manonia or more explore other things you bet him there. Now you bet him matter. It's here step 1, step 2, but you know, I started I'm telling you now, quite a local Sukua BDA to Munadis Abayon. BDA. But and so who pan and can't say. So BDA no BDA dwa no dia o bedwuru now an international businesswoman through BDA. So what you say?
And that is where I think Xavier's also argument no what point can say
no nense mo kan de obi nense mo kan de odi hu chima enye yi no kra ne say oye heartbroken. He feels the danger and sees the danger ahead. Say ya ma mabunu ani ama o mo ho so ntema o beto ache and it's true, we are getting closer. Because we have disappointed them and we have disappointed ourselves. But our disappointment and disappointment, they'll come after us. And not quite an potembi. Not true, we are a politician out in potembi. Now they be out there in Yani Kofi, in Shu Kofi, Lanquis Kofi, oh yes, oh yeah, your massa, they be on Kofi and Nigeria. Woe betides you. One day. It is in your own interest to start opening up and making sure where you sit we impact the country, the community, and the people you live around. Well, they be a trim coffee. Nipa be 20 try we say now say omina obi aba nya adwuma. Into the opposite say the man do maku go ama no ni. Na man for the omo so fa na o sak kan yo man say factor radio TV so kire omo. Please the day will come and it will be very soon.
The day will come.
Eti akwanya beto ma obi. Mabunu yesremo. Ye kasa ban modern born ne hihye bi wasi nto abam no. Ne ye ka kire wo say what did you more remu na papa ne maame ne namfo aboa mo atuma wie college. Asua skill bi awie university akoye bi build capacity bi a yesrawo ahobrasiem. Da bia meka so obi bana me wo je fan kura me ton na me de enam no ya so na me sumi kutabi na me koba no mutimi je na we me say da bia o kasa TV o kuskus na wo no ti na o to nam na ma hwa na ma se na me ko obi wa me documentary a wo hwe abenfo na nimdiafo ne well papa mpemfo mo wa ma no ne a enam adwuma no e de o mo ko mo ni mu abrabo ma na wo be ka kire me toto 5 kwa we say me to na me twitwa na me di no o eye o hwe the way na wo o to nam as if also nam na me to no and na we patronize and I'm making money. As you know, as if say venturing into that business, no, another serious matter. Mesre, se o pesa brabo ko ni masisi waso. Nye bibia na open your ears to. Nye bibia na open your eyes to. If you don't have that self-discipline and self-restraint and control, getting or attaining some heights in this life, no, it's difficult because may catch your point blank. Say the moment you started, pay. The whole number say, "Omo man no can sem, ono onye bi." Washa asia kofa force mpabo gu ka boot no. Obetwa bosa na ha boot dey to mpabo o say. The next those what you should support say obi na say wachi. We wakoton cocaine or because na we onanya boot ano. Ono ton wo boot to. Onyame adom wamana antra bututu a wamana konanim because wadwene na wakonanim eti mabu ne sremu se wa ma bibia nkoka papa twere de ne pa de emma da
and one of our speakers were beginning the year this year you know kind or trying how to venture into entrepreneurship the easy way wawofo o ma me adwuma bia o ya or the show school no it's your first way to start intia bia say dey working na o ma me ton bidie na mu na ode ono a wan ko school bidie no ode bidie na kakran show mu awie school imagine wo na wanya nimdie wo school no
fire has bidie ton
back to bidie ton na
fire has bidie ton
it's the first place to start
fire has bidie ton
small convenience store be ton gari kakra we kakra wo ton. Imagine that we school what your application 1 year what's next year shema ono ma men say now you say o person will come manage adwuma no and look at what you can do. You know it's always the best place to start by you move brain now no unyanya sa degree BSc information studies
at
University of Ghana ufi say chale now information studies adwuma na de kwakwe into BSc why philosophy and sociology what dey adwuma be it ufi say or your big deal. Or your big deal. Umami insuo na oton
or big
a day otimito insuo sachet bag na 10. Odi school nim de ne ba marketing kakra ne ade online odi agu we any ade a. I mean ubetimi aton 20 bags 30 bags any ade a day. It is extremely important thing I was say emebunu no eti ase from that angle. Na yemwa ye ho we need to fix this
you know I'm so happy that this are mebunu nkomo because obi no kura ne say yanyere ye ho ama mebunu no so ante ase say their future is with them.
Sure. Yeah, you are responsible for who you become.
Their future is with them. Now do na so dem ho ye mesere keke. O di wani akoto obi so. O so anopa. Ona nam na o de wo no o sese sika.
Eti medical catch say open journalism mu jandam kin kompa dia eyoman hene Kwabena Santi any ninu aketua obi because omono answer na omo pese ombebo NPP echi no age se omo kofam NDC de ebebata ho ansa omo ayeden omo abo NPP echi enti say yanka say NPP ba so 8 years omo niam omo ye ya na Ghana fo bu ofu ayekoto aba editi NPP ma NPP elusu potoyi obi na oman hene de se omo eka sanse nwe ya ombeka se the two abadi mu NDC for nyefi omo ni nankuro ha miwa yehu niema pabiti se eye taxes omo twetwam ene kura anye Israeli any Iran US for munto ya enka fuel price enyandru baby adru na fuel price initially na enim se NDC beja kunwa na fuel price call form and at the same time dollar rate nso kɔ fam. What I say, economy inflation rate ni na yɛden ɛso tete yɛ nneɛma bɔ so tete yɛ sɛbi nurses ano mu nyentu muka muka ne sɛ allowance pensioners ano mu sika aka mu ɔmo nyinaa etimi sɛte ɔmo. What I say, NDC fo timi sɛte ɔmo na ade but then ɔman hene Kwabena Santini nua ketewa obi ɛtena ɔmo kɔ nnwa no so a ɔmo pa kyerɛ sɛ NDC fo bɔ ɔmo nya nyɛ hwee. NDC for by said the NPP for no more na sapi pepe and no more because of some because NDC for I abo muhumodin kakra ediching NPP chino. Jenkombe don't be generalize everything. No maka so be anya de na chese obi ani sutetu. Abusunya de sa chichiro man. Timadika ka chese obi ene o man ne Kwabena Santini omo ye mamboyefo. Omo mpega na yi. Uhumwa hwe omo sei na yedin twam ko. Chira wadwen comment section ni. Bidi amije so a ene mega. Bye bye.